my favorite bourbon. Take a sip of you, baby, I'm swerving from left to right. Left to right. You remind me of my favorite bourbon. Take 2 more shots, you know I'm swerving from left to right. All night. Would you call me old-fashioned if I kiss you in the rain in Manhattan? Oh, I can't wait until my lips are on yours. I can't help the way that I'm feeling. The way you look tonight is so appealing. Hold up, I need to pace myself. You're the bullet to my heart, I swear. I swear. Only took one shot. Only took one shot. The only thing I'll promise is I'll give you all I've got. Oh, you remind me of my favorite bourbon. Take a sip of you, baby, I'm swerving from left to right. Left to right. You remind me of my favorite bourbon. Take 2 more shots, you know I'm swerving from left to right.
Yeah, look, alright. Now pretty bourbon brown eyes, can I grab you off the shelf? You sweet but you strong, I gotta have you to myself. I'm trying to let you know that you're the only drink I'm trying to pour. Girl, it's Dunton, aka the slurring bourbon connoisseur. And look, I had a couple, so you know I'm telling the truth. I don't settle for Kettle One, I don't settle for Goose. First we had a couple rounds just to see how it go. Now it's time to tap that barrel, girl, let's see how it flow. You got that caramel dripping, now I'm sipping. They can't take you straight, but baby, I'm built different. It feels different. Listen, you keep getting Dunton loose. You far from the jungle juice, but you keep it 100 proof. I don't need no Coca-Cola or no Sprite for you. And yeah, you good on the rocks, might put that ice on you. You got that Jameson, that Johnny, or that Jack, and you can miss me. I need bourbon in my life, cause baby, you my favorite whiskey. Come on.
I don't want you holding back. Tell me everything, and I do mean everything, everything. It's time for last call. You know that this liquor been flowing faster than free fall. If we keep going, I might not be able to recall. My favorite bourbon. Take a sip of you, baby, I'm swerving from left to right. Left to right. You remind me of my favorite bourbon. Take 2 more shots, you know I'm swerving from left to right. Oh, let the band play on, and they'll be playing our song.
Girl, it's Dunton, aka the slurring bourbon connoisseur. And look.
Hey y'all, what's smacking? How you crack-a-lacking? How you crack-a-lacking? What's smacking? Y'all missed the performance of a lifetime, okay? Because I was back here singing and dancing in my seat and all that. Hey, DK. Hey, Brown Eyes. Hey, Holly. Thanks for the resub. Hey, Miss Yvonne. Hey, Natty. How you doing? Hey, Lock and Key. Hey, London Michelle. Thank God for the hype train. Thank you, Lisa the X, for that resub. You know, so appreciate your support. You support you. We appreciate that. Thank you for the bits, DK. How you doing? Yes, I was back here serenading. Damn, I didn't even say nothing. What? Hold on. How I get the lights turned off on me when I've been on like 1 minute? Hey, Miss Yvonne, thank you for the bits. I appreciate it. I ain't even done anything. I ain't even do nothing. That's what I need as an emote. I ain't do nothing. Hey, D-Man, thank you for 7 months. I appreciate you. Yeah, I'm just getting started. I am Lisa the X, aka Brown Whiskey Woman. Brown underscore whiskey woman. Okay. All of other names, Brown Whiskey Woman. That's me. I am live from Lock and Key Media Studios, where K-Lock is executive producer, the main on main, and a mod. All that. He got so many damn jobs. And he's the getter of like ice and, other accoutrements, all of that. So, hey, Eb, what's up? So, y'all, listen. First of all, I always start off with my recap, right? So, I'm just here to tell you, if you missed Brown Frisky Woman on Sunday, June 30th, go back and watch that. But the entire month was filled with fun clips, laughter, shenanigans, and shenanigans. All of that because I celebrated 3 years on Twitch. So I want to say thank you all. But Brown Frisky Woman was the culmination thereof, right? So Locke and I were on here together. I had on my little hot ass blonde wig, all of that. But go back and watch that, and then you will learn some things. Specifically, you will learn what a blumpkin is. So if y'all weren't here for that and you want to know what a blumpkin is, go back and watch that show, okay? Because that was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun doing that. So I want to thank my guests. I had quite a few guests. I had DJ Fudge, I had Malik Stone, I had Crazy Berrytown, London Michelle, and then I had K-Lock. So thank you all for being guests on the show. And I also gave out some prizes. So I want to recognize my prize winners. I had Tweaking Squirrel, I had Moda Gemini, Blue Majesty, and LaWanda Baskerville. They all won prizes. Like I said, we learned some ish that we didn't want to know about. You want to know because, like, what if somebody asks you to, like, do a blumpkin on them? Like, don't you want to know what that means so that you can, refuse or say yes? I mean, I ain't judging. Okay, if you want to say yes to that, you can say yes to it. But you want to know these things. You want to know these terms and conditions so that you can determine if you want to be part of those terms and conditions. But thank you. Thank you to Cruz. Thank you to London for being wonderful, wonderful mods. And for Locke also being a wonderful mod. Missy Vaughn said she was still Google to be sure. You said you had to wash and scrub your computer after the show. And that was the mild version because, I'm trying to keep this little liquor show. So, I ain't going to go too far. I will toe the line. However, I will not be crossing any lines here on Twitch. Okay. We want to make sure we keep it straight. So when we do it again, same concept, adult conversation, some products, perhaps. I would probably need a little help with the products for next time. But I kept it good. Kept it clean. London, thank you. Happy 24 months. Hey, LaWanda, how you doing? So, yeah. So I want to say thank you to everybody. And I appreciate you all hanging with me for the entire time I've been here. Like I said, 3 years, 3 months, 3 streams, 3 hours, whatever it is. I appreciate you. So tonight, I am going to be talking about some old school classics. Now, you all might recall that a couple of streams ago, I did Bottom Shelf. This is not the same. So I am not talking about Mad Dog 2020, Wild Irish Rose, as D-Man alluded to earlier this morning. I will not be talking about those. I am talking about the stuff that possibly your parents drank or perhaps your grandparents, depending on your age. But they are classic good things. And 2 of them happen to be scotches. So, DK said, why was I curious? Scrubbed phone. D-Man, DK, did you go back and watch that stream? Did you watch Brown Frisky Woman? Anyway, if you didn't, make sure you do that. But that's what I'm going to be talking about. So I will be talking about Seagrams 7, Ballantines, which is a Scotch, and Johnny Walker, which is also a Scotch. Now, I'm also going to be talking about some things that are iconic, some things that have not changed in a number of years. And what's really interesting about me doing this show this time is that oftentimes I have found that with D-Man and I, we are like in some type of Vulcan mind meld. And I can't quite explain it yet. But earlier, I think it was on Tuesday, he was talking about things that haven't changed. And he mentioned the paperclip, which is actually on my list because it is an item that has not changed pretty much since inception. So I'm going to be talking about some of those things. Hey, Psalmist, happy 15 months. So I'm going to be talking about some of those things. And then I want you all to think about some things that you feel current day will not change over the years, that we might actually be talking about 50, 100 years from now. Do you all think of there's going to be anything that we have now that really won't change or won't change much? So y'all will be thinking about that because that's kind of like our discussion question for today. So yes, the force is strong with us. You're absolutely right. So I'm going to get into it, and then I'm going to talk about some of the items kind of in between. And y'all, I had a lot of fun with my research this week. You know, I told you how I go down the rabbit hole and there's so much information. And I learned a bunch of stuff this week that I did not know. So this stream is going to be more filled with information. Y'all are going to feel like super smart when you get done with this stream, right? Like last month, y'all laughed, cackled, you know, messed with me about getting the lights turned off on me, which I already did. That, and here we go. But this stream, you're going to learn a whole bunch of stuff, okay? So get ready. So let's start with Ballantines. So this is the bottle, and I want to show you all the bottle. I always tell you, read the bottle because you can learn so much. So it was started by George Ballantine. This is a Scotch. Okay. So I'm going to start with this seal that's right here at the top. This is a coat of arms here at the top of it. Now it's tiny, but it's got a lot of stuff on it. So a coat of arms, if you all are not aware, are usually assigned to families. Ballantines actually had a coat of arms assigned to them in 1938, and it's called a heraldic arms when it's assigned to a liquor. So the emblem has 2 horses on it, and they're carrying the Scottish flags. The crest depicts 4 essential quadrants of whiskey production: barley, water, pot stills, and cask. And then also it has a Latin phrase that reads amicus humani generis, which means friend of all mankind. Now, I kind of thought that was interesting because I was like, are they basically telling us that the liquor is the friend of all mankind? When you drink it, you're the friend of all mankind? I don't know. But that's what it means in Latin. So I thought that that was pretty cool that they actually have the heraldic arms and that they were assigned that, of course, from Queen Victoria. I believe is the person that gave it to them. And Queen Victoria and Lord Lyon were big fans of it. And that's part of the reason why it received that distinction. So I think that that's pretty cool. But it was started by a grocer. And like back in the day, that was like not uncommon for people to be in the grocery and the spirits industry together. It was all combined. So George Ballantine was also the first person that did shop and drop. So in 1857, he allowed orders to be placed and to be delivered within 10 miles. So he was one of the only individuals ever to do that. Hey, Blue Majesty, how you doing today? So I think that's pretty cool. And it has on the bottle, and this comes out of Southbridge, Scotland, but it does have on the bottle established 1827. So that's pretty damn old. It is 80 proof. It's 40% alcohol by volume. And it says George Ballantine and Son. And then it has Dumbarton, Scotland. So, of course, to be Scotch, it has to come out of Scotland. It has to be aged 3 years in an oak barrel. And it has to be made up of mixed grains. So a lot of times when I'm talking about whiskey, whiskey again is the category. And then underneath it, you have Scotch, you have bourbon, you have Japanese whiskey, you have moonshine, you have Irish whiskey, you have Canadian whiskey. Those are all categories. Then you have all these subsets like ryes and blends and all of those things. So this is a Scotch. Now I always say, hey, Lainey Star, how you doing? I always say Scotch is a really, really good place to start on your whiskey journey. The reason why is because Scotch is very soft. It has a very smooth flavor, a smokiness to it because a lot of times they use something called peat in the distillation process, which gives it a smoke. Usually it's about 80 proof, so it's kind of nice and even. It's a really great place to start. And I actually like Scotch. I don't talk about Scotch very much on this show because bourbon is, my number one. And as an executive bourbon steward, I got to stay true to that. But Scotch is good. And Ballantines is actually a pretty good Scotch. And it's not super expensive. Of course, it was extremely popular, probably in the 60s and 70s more so. But believe it or not, it is still one of the best sellers. Okay. So I've got to go down this list of stuff about Ballantines. I'm going to take a shot of it. But it's so much information I found out, especially related to music industry. Things that I didn't know. Ooh. I should have held that up for that gurgle. That was nice. But anyway. Holly, what you talking about, Dakota Arms? But this is what it looks like. And you can see this is a little bit lighter generally than bourbon is. I don't know how well you all can see that. K-Lock probably would say it looks like pee. But it don't smell nothing like it, I promise you. But anyway. Okay, so D-Man, you're working on a coat of arms for your family? Is that what you're doing? Wow. So that's why Holly was saying it's probably a grassy background because we know how you are about your lawn. Because if y'all don't know, D-Man is like very, very meticulous and particular about his yard. So it probably is. But that's pretty damn cool that you're working on that. I like that idea. Okay, so for quite some times. Okay, so you're going to come up with something. I would love to see that, like when you finish that. I'm sure that'll be really interesting. So y'all put up the cheers emote. Cheers to you all for supporting me, for, everything that I do on this stream, the good stuff, the learning stuff, the fun stuff, the buffoonery. I love it. So cheers. So cheers to Mr. Ballantine too, and Sons. Y'all, that was good. Now, it's got a kick to it. It's got a bite. But I like it. I'm going to put that over to the side. Yeah, that had a Kentucky hug and it's Scotch. So maybe it had a Scottish hug. Maybe that's what it's called. I don't know. I don't know what they call it. But let me get into these facts because I really want to share this with you. I'm super excited. So you all notice that the bottle is square. And the bottle shape was to keep it from rolling around and clanking during transport. It also is a distinctive design. It makes it very recognizable. And there's another bottle shape that's square, and I'm going to talk more about that square bottle shape when I get to that. It has about 17 iterations, which I did not know this, including one at a lower ABV. So that's alcohol by volume. There's some fruit flavors. They have some that are aged between 17 and 40 years old. Of course, the longer that it's aged, more expensive it's going to be. Once upon a time, the warehouse was protected by geese. So actually from 1959 to 2012, it was protected by geese, and then they replaced it with CCTV. So if you all didn't know this, geese are very territorial. So if you get a flock of geese, put them out in front of your house, we're just going to say in front of your house, and they recognize that this is their home. They say, okay, this is where we live now. They will protect their territory. So if anybody walks up on the home, they're going to honk, they're going to make a bunch of noise. And geese can be very, very aggressive also. I don't know if you ever, been messing around with some geese in the park, but woo, them things will come after you. So their warehouse was protected, and that was a lot cheaper than having guard dogs. But of course, now they have CCTV. Hey, Cruz, how you doing? Hey, Sea Love, how you doing? People coming in here, I got to look up. So that was like a really big deal. And the geese were actually featured on some of the bottles and also in some of the ad campaigns. So if ever you see some old ad campaigns and you see kind of these geese lined up, that's the reason why, because they used them to protect the warehouse. So this is the music part of it. And this was the part that I didn't know about. I didn't know this as it related to Ballantines. In 2014, they launched the True Music series to create diverse space for artists and fans. They partnered with Sub Club and Defected Records. So I know the DJs probably know about Defected Records. And the DJ store Beatport. So that was something that I did not know about, but I learned in the research. They also launched an Icons collection of bottles. And some of the featured artists have been Freddie Mercury and AC/DC. So, of course, those are collector's items. If you ever come across that, you want to grab those bottles. They are probably a small fortune, but you want to grab them. Hey, J Trey, how you doing? Also, they had several collaborations with RZA from Wu-Tang. And this was news to me, including a campaign to celebrate 50 years of hip-hop last year, and a collab with C6 record player with Crossley and Montero Bluetooth speakers to celebrate the 30th anniversary of Wu-Tang's first album launch. I loved hearing that because that was not something that I knew about. I did not know about the musical connection. I'm going to just say, a lot of times there is a connection with music when it comes to liquor. And I think it's obvious why, right? Because they kind of go hand in hand. A lot of times people are out in clubs or they're at a venue with live music and they're having a good time. So the liquor is flowing. And so it's kind of like a very natural pairing. But you would be surprised at how involved a lot of these liquor companies are. And so I didn't know any of that about Ballantines. And now y'all know I got a chance to share that with you. So some more liquor knowledge that you can just drop on somebody when you're sitting at the bar drinking, right? But again, Ballantines has been around for a long time. Good product. Not super expensive. I think for this bottle, it was right at $20. And it's a good Scotch for $20. It really is. Of course, there are a lot of others that cost more, better quality, aged longer. That usually does affect the taste. But Ballantines is a good Scotch. It's a good sipper. I think it's a good one for cocktails, for drinks. Of course, go to the website because that's where you're going to find the best recipes. But just Google Ballantines cocktail recipes and some stuff is going to come up. You'll find some things. So I was excited about this one because, as I said, knowledge that I didn't have. So I was really excited to share this with you all. So Ballantines, finest blended Scotch. And when they say blended Scotch, basically what they're saying is that they're blending it for consistency. So it's coming from different barrels, different casks, possibly different distilleries. They're putting it together to create a consistent taste. So when they say blended, that's what they mean. Okay, so let's put Ballantines to the side and keep on moving because I'm also excited to talk about this one. Y'all know about this? Y'all remember this? Seagrams 7. The full name of it is Seagrams 7 Crown. Did you all know that? You see that little crown on top of it? That is the official name. This is an American blended whiskey. Again, so when we say blended, that means it's blended out of several casks or several barrels for a consistent taste. So this is interesting. And I am going to actually make the iconic drink that is named after, right? But Seagrams was founded in 1928 in Canada, but it is now a United States product. It was acquired in 2000, and it actually comes out of Norfolk. But interestingly enough, on the bottle, it says New York. It's not odd for something to come out of a place, but then to be bottled elsewhere. That's not uncommon in the liquor industry. And that's definitely the case with Seagrams. But it did start off in Canada. It is officially a blended whiskey, but it is 75% grain neutral spirit. So when you think grain neutral spirit, just think of a clear spirit that has nothing, no flavoring or anything. Think Everclear. Okay. And then they added 25% whiskey to make it officially a blended whiskey. Now, to be a blended whiskey, it has to have at least 20% in it. So they was right there on the edge, right there on the edge. So someone said you had you had a friend that got sick drinking too much of liquor, though. Yeah. Oh, you remember their golden wine coolers? Okay. All right. They did have golden wine. You know what? I hadn't thought about that. They did have those. Wow. That's a blast from the past.
You remember the jingle?
I do not remember the jingle. You care to grace us?
Oh, no.
I mean, why not? I mean, anybody else remember the jingle? I don't remember.
Oh, we don't want them problems. That's all. No.
Okay.
Oh, no.
All righty then.
Oh no.
Seagram 7 is one of the only spirits with a drink named after it. And y'all know what that is. The 7 and 7, which is what I'm going to make. That's one of the drinks I'm going to make. So 7 and 7 is Seagram 7 and 7 Up. Right? It is one of the only. Chris said, "Sang lock." So Seagrams is a dive bar classic. So in 2001, they launched Keep the Dive Alive campaign for support of local dive bars because needless to say, when the pandemic hit, a lot of the dive bars struggled. A lot of entities struggled, but the dive bars especially struggled because people didn't have money to go. So they launched it so they could kind of cycle some of the money back into the dive bars to help keep them afloat. It is old school, but it is the 6th most popular American whiskey in the world. I did not know that. I had no clue, but that was great to hear. And also, they have a special day called Dive Bar Day, right? Can y'all just take a guess at what you think the date is since we talk about 7 and 7? Just drop it in the chat if you think you know what would be official Dive Bar Seagram 7 and 7 day. July 7th. That's it. That's the official day. 7/7. Makes sense, right? So I am going to actually make a 7 and 7. I have not had one in a long time. I will tell you all when I first started drinking, and believe it or not, y'all, I did not really start drinking until I was of age to drink. I was actually 21. I moved here from Detroit. And when I moved from Detroit to Atlanta, Georgia, the drinking age was 18. So I came in August. Yeah. I came in August. My birthday is August 24th. So I turned 18. So I was legal drinking age. The next year, they raised the drinking age to 19. I turned 19. They kept it at 19 for a few years. Then, of course, I turned 21. They raised the legal drinking age to 21. So I was right on target every single time.
So you were the reason why they changed the legal age.
I I don't know about that.
It's all Lisa's fault.
But I was always a legal drinker. I don't know. I mean, there must have been some destiny at play, right, for me to become the brown whiskey woman. So yes. So Sama said her first taste of alcohol was communion wine in middle school. You hated it. So okay, since we're on that, when did you all have your first taste of liquor? Like, were you a kid? Were you an adult? Drop it in the chat, because I'm curious. I'm curious about that. Yes, LaWanda, that was the birth of Brown Whiskey Woman. Actually, the birth of Brown Whiskey Woman was 87. Because I tried the clears. I couldn't do the clears. They had me worshiping the porcelain goddess like all the time. I was like, I can't do it. I'm going to have to smoke weed. I'm going to have to do something. I can't do it. And then I tried brown. I tried some Jack Daniels. And that was the birth of Brown Whiskey Woman. So, yeah. So I'm actually going to make a 7 and 7. Because, I mean, even though it's not July 7th, hey, got to do it. So this is what we call a build. Hey, Tally, how you doing? So you sipped a beer with Dad at the baseball game. London was drinking her mom's wine in high school and blended drinks too. Okay, Locke. That was not the first taste of liquor. Beer counts. Yes, beer counts. And I should say alcohol. I said liquor, but I should say alcohol. So this drink is called a build. And the reason why it's called a build is because we're building it in this glass. We're not putting it in a cocktail shaker. So I'm going to put a couple of cubes of ice. The blood of Christ was not tasty. And Somas, can I just tell you, like, when they used to tell me that it was like, when I was little and they used to say it was the blood of Christ, that freaked me out. Because I was like, wait a minute, is this some type of vampire stuff that we got going on here? What do they mean by that? Is it literal or what? Because, like, I was into horror and vampires and all of that stuff, so I needed some understanding. But anyway, okay. So, we're going to do our 7. And I will tell you, if you go to the 7up website, there's a recipe for this on there. That's slightly different if you go to the Seagrams site. And basically, one product, 7up, they favored the 7up, more 7up on their site. And Seagrams favors more Seagrams on their site. So, and it makes sense, right? So, I could measure, but you know what? I'm not. I'll just pour it up. Hey, Little Unique, how you doing? Hey, DJ Diz, how you doing? Welcome in. Diz had his debut on Rebound the other day. So y'all put some hearts in the chat for Diz because he did a great job on his debut for Rebound. So please put some hearts in the chat for Diz. Congratulations, Diz. And I am sure they will have you back. Okay? He did a great job. So anyway, I'm just gonna eyeball it. So I'm gonna tell you that's probably about a jigger and a half. Just if I had to measure, which is like 1.5 ounces. And then I'm just going to pour up my 7up. And then I'm going to stir it. So I did have my 7up chilling. And of course, you know, Sprite is a lemon lime soda too. We know that. But it would not be a true 7 and 7 if you didn't use 7up. So you got to do that. And then I have my bar spoon. So I'm using that to stir it. Kind of hear that fizz there. And then for my garnish, I thought that I would just do a lemon peel. So I did a little Food Network. That's my lemon peel. Dropping that in there. Now, some garnishes really don't add anything. They just make the drinks look pretty. But lemon, once you peel it, and you want to make sure that you don't go too deep into the lemon or the lime, because the white part is called the pith. And the pith is very bitter. But it does add a little something to your drink. It will add a little bit of flavor to the drink. So, cheers, y'all. 7 and 7. I probably haven't had one of these in about, don't know, 20 years, something like that. We'll see. You like the glass? Thank you. And this is called a highball glass, by the way, because it's tall. And the shorter ones are called low balls. So this is a highball. Okay. Salmon said it pith is tart. Okay. This is good. And honestly, I would add more Seagrams to it. But this is nice. It's very light. It's an easy drink. And I definitely can see why people can just throw these back. Because, like I said, I probably put a jigger and a half maybe. But I would add a little bit more Seagrams. But I might be a slightly more seasoned drinker. Just slightly. So I'm going to say highballs. Yep. 8th grade. That's us, right? High balls, low balls, no balls, one ball. All of that. Anyway. Let that cruise, swing low. But yeah, nice and smooth. So let me tell you, because Seagrams is like grain neutral, primarily grain neutral, it's a good mixer because it's not going to overpower whatever you're mixing it with. You are going to get the alcohol punch, but it's not going to overpower it in flavor. So this is 80 proof. So again, and when you think 80 proof, think about like Crown. Crown is 80 proof. It's right there. So it's an American blended whiskey. Let's say you read the bottle, but I gotta put my glasses on. And it says a whiskey of distinctive character, smooth, rich, full flavor without a trace of heaviness. I think that's a very accurate description. And it does say distilled since 1857 because it is very light. And it really has to do with the fact that it's neutral grain. Now, if you just drink straight neutral grain, you're going to be drunk. You just drink the bottle. You're going to be drunk. And you're probably going to feel like, well, I can do it. It doesn't really have a strong flavor. It's okay. Be careful. Like I said, it's like Everclear, because Everclear will knock you on your ass. If anybody here has ever had Everclear or Hunch Punch or any of that shit they used to mix up in college and put all that alcohol in, whew, just saying, be careful. But the Seagram 7 and 7, excellent cocktail, classic cocktail, very good. And I will be drinking this. And if you like 7-Up or Sprite, which I think Sprite is slightly sweeter. I don't really drink carbonated drinks. But to me, 7-Up has always had like a more of a subtle type taste as opposed to Sprite is much sweeter. But if you like the sweetness, go with the Sprite. Then I guess you're just drinking Seagrams and Sprite. A 7 and Sprite. You still got S's, right? So Blue Magic said you have been knocked on your ass a few times. Drinking Seagrams 7 or something else. I don't know. Okay, so Tally said kids, young adults trying Everclear has been trending on TikTok. Man, y'all, Everclear is no joke. It is not something that I would mess around with, and I consider myself to be a pretty seasoned drinker, but yeah, I value my internal organs. I want them to last for a while, and I just feel like Everclear is like just pouring alcohol, like rubbing alcohol inside your body, and it just burns you from the inside out. So yeah, I'll take the 0. Okay, so Blue Majesty, the Sigma Punch. Oh yeah, the Sigma Punch. Like when they make that Hunch Punch in that big trash can, or in a bathtub, y'all, you don't want that. You do not want that in your life. You think you do, but you don't. You don't want it. So, moving on. Natty said you will be clear. You'll be clear on something. You'll be clearly drunk is what you will be. So yeah, that's the Seagrams. It was in the cooler. Okay, so see, when I was in college, they would make it up in the bathtub, or they would get one of those big plastic trash bins, and they would, line it, of course, or it would be brand new, and they would make it up in there, and they would just be pouring liquor in there. That's when I decided that I can't do this. I was like, I can't do it. Can't do it because I would always be sick. And I don't like being sick and I don't like being drunk. Reason why I don't like being drunk is because then I don't have any control over the situation or what's happening around me. And that's the issue for me because I have control issues. I say it all the time. I mean it. So, nope. Don't ever want to be in a situation where I don't know what's going on or what's happening. So, yeah, that's a no. So, yeah. So, before I talk about the Johnny Walker and make my second cocktail, I thought that I would talk about some of the classic items that have not changed through the years. And hopefully you all have thought about some things that you think might actually be around for a while. So let me read the list. I have kind of an old list and then I have some more recent things. So bicycles. Late 1800s. Now, all of these things have been around for centuries. The materials and technology have changed, but the basic design is the same. Handcuffs, 1914. Zippers, 1893. The art of rope making. Spoons, from the 18th century. Screws, they have been around for 150 plus years. Pasta, hamburgers. Hamburgers are 100 years old. Lindt chocolate. So when you see that commercial with the Lindt chocolatiers, 1879, they have been making chocolate the same exact way, same recipe. That was amazing to me. KitchenAid stand mixers. They have been pretty much the same since the 1930s. And paper clips. D-Man said this one. 1890. So basically what this article was saying, I found this on the internet, is if you looked at a paper clip that was designed in 1890 and a paper clip now, the only thing that would change is the material that it's made from. But the design of it is identical. You would be able to look at that and say, that is a paper clip. So some more recent things, toasters and toilet paper were both invented in 1930. They haven't changed. Pretty much the same, right? Aqueducts, they have been around since the ancient Romans time. And they've not changed. Their process is the same. What they do is the same. Everything is pretty much the same about them. So, yeah. Now, some more modern iconic items, and D-Man, you will appreciate this one. Legos, 1958. So if you got Legos from 1958, Legos to now, they will all interlock together. It'll be the same. Legos really have not changed. So, yeah, Legos. Ray-Ban sunglasses, the Wayfarers, 1952. Those are the black ones that oh boy had in Risky Business. They're the same. Post-it notes. They were invented in 1977. They are the same. The only thing they've added is colors and sizes and things like that. Doc Marten boots came out in 1945, and they have not changed. They, again, just added different colors, different styles, but they're the same. Levi's 501 jeans were invented in 1890, and they're the same. They really have not changed. Only the fabric slightly, because it's still denim. That's the only thing that's changed about them. And that one was like kind of a surprise to me because I thought some things maybe would have been altered, but they said the design is pretty much the same. Pyrex measuring cups, or jugs as they used to call them, came out in 1915. They have a 10-year guarantee, y'all. I'm a baker. I'm here to tell you, get you some Pyrex measuring cups. The thing with measuring cups that I found is that a lot of times, like this is a measuring cup, right? So this one, you see how the numbers and the lines are. After you wash it so many times, it's going to wear down, right? Like the letters are going to come off. They're going to rub off. The lines are going to diminish a little bit. It's not going to look the same. Pyrex lasts forever. Whatever they use to etch that stuff on there, to print that on there, it's not going anywhere. And they come with a 10-year guarantee. So yeah, Pyrex. The Weber Kettle Grill came out in 1950. And I did not know this. Locke probably did, but I didn't know this. It was basically a metal buoy chopped in half. That's how it was created. I did not know that. So I learned something new with that. But basically, it is the same as it ever was. Kiko Man soy sauce. It came out in 1961. Recipe is unchanged. Bottling is essentially the same. Not much has changed at all on Kiko Man, but the recipe is the same. Another one, Converse. Converse All-Stars. So they were introduced in 1917. They made some slight tweaks. And then after 1920, they remained the same. Again, the only thing they changed were prints. And I'm here to tell you, Converse, now I really can't wear Converse because Converse have a tendency to hurt my feet. But Converse has so many styles, so many colors. I love them second only to my Vans. Van is like number one for me. Because they have so many different iterations of them. But Converse has been around since 1920, and they're the same. Another one, and this is interesting because I have one in my car now. A Little Trees air fresheners. 1952. They were introduced, and they are the same. Okay, so Cruz just bought a pair. Blue Majesty, I like your emote. Yeah, Weber is the GOAT. You're right. But yeah, Little Trees air fresheners are the same since 1952. The only thing they changed was the scents. They added more scents. I think I have a coconut colada one or something in my car now. The car just came with it. But yeah, I mean, all of those things, I'm going to say, especially the more modern ones, were things that I had never really thought about. So I want you all to drop in the chat. I want you to think about, what do you think that we currently have? What is something that we currently utilize that you think will remain for, let's say, the next 50 to 100 years in terms of basic design remaining the same? And I know we're making a prediction here because we don't really know. But I know in going through this list, it got my mind working. I started to think about other things. And I could have had a very extensive list for you all, because another thing that I thought of and then I had to research was the iron. You all know that the shape of the iron, the triangular shape of the iron, has pretty much been the same since the invention of the iron. And I also found out in doing that research that people don't really iron anymore. Now, that part didn't really surprise me because I see some people with some wrinkled ass shit on. Now, I don't like wrinkled clothes. That's me. So I still iron my stuff. But they were saying because of advances in fabric, of course, people buy things that they don't have to iron. A lot of times people will put their clothes in the dryer to get the wrinkles out. They use steam presses. Of course, they take their things to the cleaners if they must. But people really don't iron. I was like, that's interesting. But the iron's been around like forever. Miss Yvonne said her clothes are in the dryer. In the dryer right now. Right? Okay, so Jay Trey said you can't improve upon a spoon, right? And spoon was actually on the list as a classic item that has not changed. Okay. Yep, big Virgo energy. Yeah, I'm not, Can't do it. Can't do it. Like, sometimes I'm out, y'all, and I'm going to just tell you, I see people, and I'm like, how come their clothes look like they've been, like, balled up underneath the cushion of their couch? And then they just put them on. Like, that makes me feel away. And it don't have shit to do with me. It's not my clothes. I'm not wearing them. But I just feel away, like, deep in here. Deep in here. It makes me feel away when I see that. Because I'm like, do you have mirrors? You have a mirror in your bathroom? Did you see that? Did you look at that before you came out here and put this out for mass consumption for the rest of us to see? You need to rethink that. You shouldn't have done that. Yeah. See, Cruz said, and be prancing around like it's cute. I know it has nothing to do with me. I know it's a quirk. I know it's just my thing, but it just bothers me. I don't like it. I don't like it. It's like when I drink that bad, like, I don't like it. I don't like the same kind of face. I just try to not show the face. That's all. So yeah. So okay. So what do we below the cleavage lock? It's like below that. It's like down here someplace. I feel it. I don't know. Okay. So D-Man said the razor might not change much. Yeah, the razor probably has been the same for a long time, just the basic razor. And you're probably right. Probably won't change. Miss Yvonne said body lotion. Now that's something I would not have thought of. That's one to think about. I wonder how long body lotion has been around. See, that's another thing though. When people with them wrinkled clothes, they be ashy sometimes too. They need some body lotion or something, right? Hey, Big Stove. Big Stove, no, we're drinking classics today. So no BS. No BS today. I made a 7 and 7. That was my cocktail with Seagrams 7. So yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's no BS. So, okay, Locke said your father still has the same razor he had from the military 50 years ago, and he just changes the blades. Wow. London said pickles. They haven't changed and they won't. They won't. You're probably right. Pickles won't. And, but you think about the same thing, variations, right? Because I know they have bread and butter pickles. They have grilled pickles. They have spicy pickles. They have all kinds of stuff, right, out there. D-Man, no, I'm not letting you off the hook on them wrinkled clothes or ashy ankles. That either, or ashy elbows. Put some lotion on, body lotion. It's not going out of style, Miss Yvonne told us. So Jay Trey said the same. So the razor is a good one. Oh, I mean, you say your dad still uses brown Listerine?
Damn.
You can still buy that?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. Now I see the minty one all the time, but I did not know that. That's interesting. Just side note too on Listerine. Listerine is an excellent antiseptic.
Yes, it is.
Particularly like for piercings. It's great because it does not dry out the skin like a lot of the stuff they give you for piercings, like alcohol or peroxide or that kind of stuff. It does not dry out your skin. So it is really good for that. So yeah, just a side note for those of you that may be contemplating a piercing someplace or other. But yeah, it's great for that. Why? Because I said or other. People can be pierced in a lot of different places. Don't play. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. They can. Lock. They can. And Listerine works great. I don't know this. I heard this. Okay, I don't. All of my piercings are above board. See, Miss Yvonne said they work for tongue piercings, right? Which I do not have. Only my ears. That's it. Big stove. Not the imaginary pearls. Anyway. One day, y'all, I'm going to have a show where the light's not going to be turned out on me. I don't know what I'm going to talk about on that show. I don't know what the hell y'all going to talk about on that show, but I'm going to make it. That's my goal. That's it's not going to happen. Yes, it is. It's going to happen. See, Blue Majesty said she used Listerine as an antiseptic when she had her tongue pierced. So all I'm saying is that it can be used in lots of places. That's all. That's silent and still. No show, basically.
D-Man knows the truth.
So I'll just be sitting here like this. giving y'all the stare down. That's pretty much what we're saying. Saying nothing. That's in the dark. That's okay. In the complete dark. No. I can still see my paper though. Okay. So I can still read it. So that means I could still say some crazy shit if I really wanted to. Because I can still do that. So anyway. Y'all keep thinking about stuff, right? Things don't think gonna get any darker. Darker. Right on cue, right? Oh, Marcus. Kellogg. Anyway. See, y'all make me behave like this. It's not me. It's y'all.
See, the accountability is not good. Over here saying it's our fault, huh?
Listen, as an 8th grader, weren't you easily influenced? Wasn't peer pressure like for real then? I mean, peer pressure is still for real, but like, weren't you easily influenced? I mean, when I was in the 8th grade, well, I don't know if I was easily influenced, but I was definitely an influencer for sure.
Which is why your lights always go off.
I was that. Because I was the one that's like, you know what would be a really good idea? It would be a really good idea if we, but the we never included me, did X, Y, Z. They always fell for the okie doke. That ain't my fault. Okay, so Miss Yvonne said, "Oh, she's talking about." Okay, your mom freaked out when she found out that you had your tongue pierced. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna ask y'all people that had your tongue pierced. Now I'm gonna just say this: my son is 20, and he has his tongue pierced. So I had this thought about that. Not specifically about him, because I don't really.
I'm just gonna turn the lights off in advance.
Okay.
That's all.
But listen, y'all. The tongue piercing. Can you all tell me a little, just a little bit? Keep it clean. What is the purpose? Is it aesthetics, or does it have dual purpose, or is there just a sole purpose? Because when I see it on a man or a woman, I'm gonna tell you where my mind goes. So y'all just tell me. Okay, so Ebony had nipples. I have a friend that had nipples done. I actually was with her when she had her nipples done. Scary. But not tongue. Okay. Blue Majesty said no comment. Thank you. Okay, so you answered. Okay. I mean, that's where my mind goes. So, okay, are other people like me? Is that where your mind goes to when you see the tongue pierced? Any other people had their? So London had a vibrating tongue ring when you got it. Okay, so there's only one purpose for that. That shit wasn't for you. We just know that, don't we?
In the words of Cleveland Brown, that's nasty.
Okay, I am in the right direction. So okay, see, so it wasn't just, it's not just me. And I mean, listen, y'all know I'm an extremely open-minded individual, right? So I am not yucking your yum. I just wanted to know, was that the reason? Okay. Marcus. Hey, Stormy. How you doing? Stormy, you walked in right on time. We're talking about getting your tongue pierced. That's what we're talking about. That really wasn't what we talked about, but anyway. Yeah. How do we wind up here all the time? How is this our resting spot? Right? Why? Anyway, thank you all for confirming that, because that's what I've always thought. And you all just told me the truth. And I appreciate your honesty and your candor. Thank y'all. Yeah. Yeah, it all goes together. Sex, alcohol, music, the brown whiskey, frisky woman. Yeah, all that. It all goes together. All right, so how about we talk about some more whiskey? So Holly says she can't hear, and all she's seeing is talk about nipples and tongues and Holly. Holly. Okay, well, Holly, now we're going to talk about some Johnny Walker. All right, so Johnny Walker was created in 1867. Again, the original Johnny Walker was a grocer. He inherited a farm. He sold it, got into the grocery wine and spirits business, and the rest is history. Now, Locke would appreciate this fact about Johnny Walker. And some of this I knew, some of it I didn't. But Johnny Walker was a teetotaler, and he had skills blending tea. And he utilized that in whiskey making. And it's interesting because Locke is a tea drinker and a teetotaler. So when I read it, I was like, huh, how about that? It all goes together. So it just shows you, though, how one skill set can be applied to something else. And we know that. So John's son, Alexander, is the person that launched the original blend. And again, using this square bottle. So, I told you I was going to talk about the square bottle. Now, this is Johnny Walker Black Label. I will not be cracking this because this was gifted to me by an older gentleman. He had it in his stash for 20 years. And he gave it to me. And I'm not going to open it. I am going to keep it. So it was aged 12 years originally. It's been sitting in a bottle for 20 years. And I have owned it for 10 years. I think this is year number 11 for me. So I will not be cracking this. This will sit on my shelf until eternity, I guess, till it evaporates. And I will tell you, though, even though it has not been cracked, eventually it will evaporate down. It'll take a while, but it will evaporate because, of course, it probably was filled maybe up to here. But you can see in that amount of time, it hasn't really evaporated that much, but it has somewhat. But that's the reason why it looks a little bit tattered, because it has been sitting on my shelf. So, yeah. So I won't be opening that one. But this is the Johnny Walker Black Label Old Scotch Whiskey. 40% alcohol by volume, which means it's 80 proof. And it is a blended Scotch whiskey. So, again, I talked about the blends for consistency. And it says extra special, age 12 years. And it has Johnny Walker and Sons signature on the front of it. And it is bottled in Scotland because, of course, it has to be bottled in Scotland to be considered Scotch. So each color label means something different. So for age and flavor. So you had a red label, which is what I'm going to use to make my drink. That is the red label. You have the black label, which I just showed you. You have a double black. You have a green label, and you have a very much sought after blue label. So the blue label, let me slide those over so you can see them. The blue label is one of those rare collector items that cost a small fortune, but sometimes you can find them. Now, you notice it has a square bottle. So before I talk to you all about square bottles and transport, and it keeps it from rolling around, especially during Prohibition, because that was a big deal. You were trying to hide your liquor. You was maybe had it in a briefcase or something like that, and you didn't want the bottles to be clanking. If the bottles are square, they won't. But some basic geometry for all my math people. A cube is stronger than a cylinder. It also takes less glass to create, so it is more economical, better for transport, and they're lighter. The bottle is actually lighter than a round bottle. And of course, a square bottle is more distinctive on the shelf because almost all the bottles are round. So if you have a different shape, that makes your product stand out. Okay, Fred. Fred, why you in here trying to sell some shit? Goodbye. Bye-bye. So that is a lot of the reason why square bottles were used. Because, of course, again, lighter. You don't want your bottles rolling around. A lot better. And it was distinctive. So that's a good thing. So now you notice on Johnny Walker, on this bottle, you notice how I told you how old this bottle was. But see on our red bottle, can you guys see the man down there at the bottom? See the man walking? And their motto is keep on walking too. So there we go. I wanted to get like a little better shot of him. So he is called the Striding Man. That is his official name. And a cartoonist drew him up in 1908. But he was not used on the bottles until 1950. Prior to that, he was only in the ads. And he is based on a London dandy. And a dandy is basically a gentleman that is very concerned with his outward appearance. So the way that he dresses. Basically, we can say a dandy was an old school metrosexual. that's essentially what we can say. So before that, he was only in the ads, and then they decided to add him to the bottle. So not a Yankee Doodle dandy, but a London dandy. So, and I guess now we have modern day dandies, you know, like I said, but we would call them metrosexuals. But I guess if you wanted to be fancy, you could call them a dandy. That's a name. So Johnny Walker has lots of famous fans. Jude Law, Richard Nixon, Winston Churchill, and Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford was also part of the Blade Runner campaign where they had special editions of Johnny Walker. It is name dropped in a lot of songs. And can I tell you all that when I was posting the flyer and I was looking for music to go with the flyer, which I went with old school classic music, I just put in Johnny Walker and so many songs came up. But some of the songs I know about, ZZ Top, Lady Gaga, Passenger, and Elliott Smith, talk about Johnny Walker in their songs. It is blended from 4 main whiskeys across Scotland. And it's called the Four Corners, is what they call. So again, a blend is where they're taking something, trying to make it consistent. So the red is the cheapest. And of course, this is a smaller size. So I think I paid maybe about $15 for this. But of course, a larger bottle is going to be more. Thank you, Sam. That Sam Cooke is one of my favorites. One of my favorite songs. He's one of my favorite artists, though. But they have some really great recipes on their website. And I have it going through Stream Elements, but if ever you want to know what is a good recipe for what you're drinking, always go to the website because they have professional mixologists that spend time, hours and hours, coming up with the perfect ratios for drinks. So I was looking for something a little bit different. Now, a lot of times people just drink Scotch and water. You hear people order that all the time, or Scotch and soda. Scotch and cranberry is also very common. So I went to their website and they had a recipe called the Floral Fresh Johnny and Elderberry. Elderflower, sorry, not elderberry, elderflower. So I had some elderflower liqueur, which comes from the flower that is actually on the bud with the elderberries. So an elderberry juice is great for you, has a lot of benefits. Crazy Berry Town sells it if you're here in the Atlanta area. She makes it fresh. And the recipe actually called for the Johnny Walker Black, but I'm going to make it with the red. I know they're similar in taste, but I told you I'm holding on to my black, right? I'm holding on to my black, so I'm going to make it with the red. But it calls for the elderflower liqueur or cordial, soda water, which is also seltzer water. So if ever you see a recipe that says soda water and you're like, what the hell is that? Soda water is seltzer water here in the United States of America. It is not the same as club soda. They do have a different kind of flavor profile. It's very close, it's very similar, but it's not the same. And then the garnish is just a lemon peel, or you can do a sprig of mint. So since I had already done the lemon peels, I was like, I'll go with that. So I am going to make that. And I'm really interested in how this is going to taste with the elderflower and all of these different things. But I am still drinking my 7 and 7. So I'm going to put that over to the side. This drink is also a build. So we are building it in the highball glass. We don't need our cocktail shaker. So I'm going to put a couple of cubes of ice here. And you know, as your drink sits, you know, your ice is melting. So like I usually say 2 cubes or 3 cubes because, you know, as the ice melts, it's of course going to water down your drink a little bit. So again, I am not going to use the jigger. I could, but I'm not, because it calls for 3.5 ounces of soda water. And I was like, I didn't want to keep pouring that jigger over and over again like that. So I was like, I ain't doing that. But the first thing, that's too much. I ain't doing that. The first thing is the elderflower liqueur. So that's what the bottle looks like. I have made other cocktails with it, so you see it's low. And I really am trying to use the things that are on my shelf so I can buy more shit. So I got to use what's on there. So I am going to go with 1 ounce of the elderflower. So I'm going to use my measuring, not Pyrex, but you know, hey, it's going to do the trick. And I got to find the ounces. Can you see? There it is. So remember, if we were using the jigger, we would just use the top portion of the jigger. That would be our 1 ounce. And it has like a floral type of scent because it comes from a flower. And then it says 1.5 ounces of Johnny Walker. So I'm going to pour that in next. And then it's 3.5 ounces of soda water or seltzer. So I went to the good old Walls. I got great value. Seltzer water. Seltzer water does have fizz to it, of course. It's carbonated. Ooh, it had a gurgle to it, too. Wasn't expecting that. But okay, I'll take it. And then I am going to put my other little lemon peel in there. And I'm going to give it a stir. So I have a feeling this is going to be good. And the reason why is because the elderflower liqueur in other drinks that I've had, other cocktails that I've had, is very good. It's very, very tasty. And it's a great mixer. So, cheers, y'all. Have I tried Traveler? I actually have had Traveler whiskey. I've had that in a bar. A lot of times when I want to try stuff and I see it on the bar shelf, I'll try it because that's a way for me to try it without having to buy a whole bottle and it might not be good. So yes, I have had Traveler. So cheers, y'all. Okay, I don't like it. Now this is not a hard, I don't like it. Like, yeah. It's not a hard that, like a lot of times when I do, you know, risky whiskey and I taste something and it's like, you know. It's something about it that's harsh. I thought that the elderflower liqueur was going to give it something else, but it didn't. It didn't do it. I don't know what it is. Now, I will say It did call for the black. Maybe the black would taste better. Maybe the Johnny Walker Black would taste better in this. Yeah, okay, so Stormy says, watch me make it. She felt like it was going to be too tart. Nothing to balance it. Yeah, it was a quick, I don't like it. I'm going to taste it again. I'm wondering too, because I'm going to just say this, with the Seagrams 7 and 7 that I was just drinking, it's sweeter. So I don't know if it's like, okay, I drank that. I didn't really do a palate cleanser, which would be a cracker or some room temperature water. I really don't think that would matter. I'm going to just be honest. I don't. But I'm going to give it a second taste. It was slightly better, but I don't like it. It's still not a cocktail that I would make at home. And it's not something that I would serve to anyone. It has like an aftertaste to it. Almost like when you drink something diet that has aspartame in it or something like that. It has that. Chris said, I need some milk.
She needs some milk.
Blue Majesty said, I don't know if it was that I didn't cleanse. I don't really think that was it. I don't know. It's just something about this that this would be something like if somebody served me this, I wouldn't be happy. I probably would just walk around the party and like ha and kiki and kick up my heels with people and be doing this all night, but not really drinking it. And then when I got close to the sink, I would just dump it out. That's what I anticipate happening. Yeah, that I'm gonna go back to my 7 and 7 because I didn't. But you know what? I think I'm gonna have a shot of this. This Johnny Walker Red. Just to see what it tastes like. Because again, it's been a minute since I had any Johnny Walker. It's not my Scotch of choice. I do have other Scotches that I like better. But it is a good Scotch. So color-wise, we got some lighter PP. Maybe this person drinks a little bit more water. maybe they're yeah. Their water intake might be slightly better. Maybe they got a Stanley cup. I don't know. So here we go. Now see, I'm going to just tell y'all the Johnny Walker on its own. Yeah, I can get with that. I ain't going to go back to it because, like I said, I have other Scotches that I like better. I really like Glenmore. I like the Glenlivet. Those are just better tasting Scotches. There's a Caribbean Reserve Glenlivet that I absolutely love. It's cured in a rum cask. After they take it out of the cask, they held the Scotch. Excellent. But yeah. Okay, so Stormy said elderflower is nasty to her. Now, I've had it in other cocktails and I really, really enjoyed it. Stormy said mixing it with Scotch seems so wrong. I don't know. Maybe that's it. Maybe you're right. Because the other recipes that I had it with, they were bourbon recipes. So you could be right about that. So a side note about Scotch, also, since I had 2 Scotches, put that over to the side, is the way Scotch is made and the way Japanese whiskey is made, the way that the distillation process is very, very similar. The main difference is, of course, to be Japanese whiskey, it has to be made in Japan. And it is made from a different cask. The cask is called a Mazura cask, which is a type of tree that is native to Japan. So it's cured in those casks, where this is cured in an oak barrel. The oak barrel does not have to be new, which is a requirement for bourbon. That is not a requirement for Scotch. So I'm going back to my 7 and 7 because I like that a hell of a lot better. Yeah, it wasn't the palate cleanse because this tastes good. this just tastes good. I'm going to just say that. So, yeah. Okay. So, to review, what did I talk about today? I started off talking about Ballantines, which is a blended Scotch whiskey. Very good product. Highly recommend. I did take a shot of that. Real smooth. It's got a bit of a bite to it, but it's the kind of bite I enjoy because I don't mind a Kentucky hug. I don't mind knowing that I'm drinking some liquor. I'm okay with that. And as I said, this is a really, really good sipper, also a really good mixer. So if you have Scotch-based recipes and you want just a good, solid Scotch and you're not spending a lot of money on it, Ballantines is a very good pick. And then I went to our Seagrams 7 Crown, our American blended whiskey, which I made the 7 and 7. Really good. And again, this is a neutral grain spirit with 25% whiskey, which gives it the whiskey flavor. Another good one for mixing. Seagrams is super inexpensive, but it's a good product. Again, just because something is old school or something you like, oh, my parents used to drink that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. And it's been around for a long time. And there's a reason why it's been here. And then we have our Johnny Walker. Keep on walking, right? So we have the red label and then a Johnny Walker Black, which is my vintage bottle that I'm going to hang on to. And of course, they have a lot of iterations of this. And if you ever come across the blue, get it. Don't crack it. Just get it. Okay. Hang on to it or get 2 bottles so you can drink one and then save one because the blue bottle is, the blue label is highly coveted and rare and difficult to find. So, and if ever you see the Ballantines and you see one of those iconic bottles, like the one with Freddie Mercury on it or AC/DC, you make sure that you get that and hang on to that. And then, of course, the 50 hip hop anniversary last year, the commemorative for that, you want to get those. So basically, if you see any type of commemorative bottle on any type of whiskey, any type of liquor, period, that's good to have in your collection. Because I'm here to tell you that people who collect and they resell, they make a whole bunch of money. A whole bunch of money. Okay, we're talking about thousands of dollars people pay just for a bottle of whiskey to have it in their collection. So I have this friend of a friend, who took me to this gathering. And this gentleman, he had a large collection of whiskey. He wasn't really a drinker, though, so he didn't really know what he had. So I got a chance to taste some stuff because he cracked some bottles. I got a chance to taste some really rare things. And it was wonderful to be able to taste them. But the whole time I was like, man, if he only knew, he would not have opened those bottles and poured that up for us. But I was glad he did because I got a chance to taste some really good stuff. So, yes. But anyway, our old school collection here. On a scale from 1 to 5, I always rate it. The Ballantines, I actually will give Ballantines. I'll actually give Ballantines a 5 because I think Ballantines is good. Okay. The Seagrams, the Seagrams 7, I'm going to give Seagrams I give it a 4. I mean, I think it's pretty good. I give it a 4. And like I said, the Seagrams 7 and 7 cocktail itself, 5. For dive bar, great. The Johnny Walker, I give Johnny Walker a 4. I would probably always give Johnny Walker a 4 because I think it's a good, solid Scotch. It's just not my favorite Scotch. The black, I didn't taste it. And I ain't gonna taste it. I ain't cracking it open. I have had Johnny Walker Black in bars before. It is a little bit better because it is aged a little bit longer. I've not had the opportunity to have the blue label. Never come across that. But if you just want to go and get a good, solid Scotch, Ballantines or Johnny Walker are good picks. Are there better things out there? Sure there are. But like I tell you all, you have to try some different things to know what you like. right? Because what you like and what I like might be two different things. But get out there and try some different things. You can always ask for a taste, or you can go someplace where they do flights where you can taste some different things and get a feel for what you like. So make sure that you do that. So does anybody have any questions about any of the stuff we talked about today? You said, okay. Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about, Cruz. All right. No, I did not rob him. I did not rob that gentleman. I just enjoyed the liquor that was offered to me. I really did. No, it was not. But along those lines, yes. I'll just say that. So, y'all, I'm thinking about our list of things that you all came up with that we feel like are gonna last for 50 years, right? And I've been drinking, so what did we come up with on that list again? What was the stuff y'all said? Shit. About what do we think is gonna last for the next 50 years? We talked about the razor, I know that, and we talked about how razors have been around for a while. Body lotion, talked about that as well. What were the other things that you all came up with? I know we like branched off and started talking about tongue piercings and Listerine and piercing nipples and shit like that, and bills. Bills. Yeah, I don't think Bill's going anywhere. That's pickles. That's right, pickles. We said pickles. I wonder how long have pickles been around? They've probably been around for a long time. Okay, Luanda said metal hangers and picture frames. Okay. You know what, Luanda? I think you're right on the picture frames for sure. And metal hangers have been around for a long time. So, yeah. Oh, petroleum jelly. Miss Yvonne. Okay, Miss Yvonne, you ain't ashy. Because you be talking about lotion and petroleum jelly. I done met you before, girl. I ain't even look at your ankles, but I don't have to. The next time I see you, I know you ain't ashy because you be on that lotion. I know you probably be all shiny and all of that. Her heels and stuff. You know, like, okay, another thing. I talked about them people with the clothing. Crusty ass heels. It ain't no reason for you to have crusty feet. If you don't want to put no lotion on your feet, just put on some shoes where we don't see your heels and your toes. Okay? It's okay. It's all right. Because we don't want that. I don't like it. Other people don't like it either. They don't want to see that. So, yeah. So, yeah, there's that. See how I said that part? Yeah, that's another. Ooh, y'all. One day I'm just going to do a show on all my PSAs. I'm going to get a soapbox. I'm going to stand up on it. And I'm just going to tell y'all all of the quirks and pet peeves and all of the stuff that just be wearing the brown whiskey woman, a.k.a. Lisa the X out. Y'all probably ain't going to like me no more. Y'all ain't going to want to come here and talk to me no more because you're going to be like, what? But I'll just tell you like my mother says. She's 95. Hit dog will holler. So just know that. I don't care about him turning off the lights on me. It's the truth. That's right. That's right. Brown whiskey woman PSA. So anyway, I will be back next Thursday.
Will you?
I will. Ooh, Miss Yvonne said it. And remove the polish from your toes if they're chipping. Oh,
Yes.
please.
Yes.
Okay, first of all, can I just say this? They look better polished. I'm just going to say that. Most people's feet look, women, most of the time they look better polished. But I get it. That's not everybody's thing. But if it's chipping, can you please take that shit off? Get some fingernail polish remover, get some pads, whatever. Get some acetone out the garage. Take that off. Okay? That take it off. Just take the polish off. And like I said, and And if your feet jacked up, get you some Converse. They haven't changed since 1920. Okay. Full circle. Let's bring it back. Get you some Converse. It's okay. It's all right. But I'm just going to tell you, like, I look at people's feet. I'm a foot person. I am. I mean, like, pretty much when I go to the nail salon, I be trying not to give it to the people there. But I look at people's feet. Because you know what I kind of think? I'm like, okay, your feet are part of your body. If you're not taking care of them, what else ain't you doing? What else ain't too kosher? That's my mind. That's what I think. Okay. Stormy, yes, I am the female Marcus. Yes, I would be pulling back the covers looking at his feet. Because as a man, I just still feel like, come on now. I mean, you get in the shower, get a pumice. Come on. Come on. You can go places, you can have people do that. It's do y'all see my face? Okay. It's yeah, socks, shoes. I mean, yeah. And I admit, my foot thing, it might be fetishist. I don't know. I mean, it might be right on the borderline of that, but yeah, I'm looking. Maddie said posting up the page like Patrick Ewing. Oh, yeah. The feet can be nice on a stanky ass person. You're right. But yeah, I'm looking. Stop pondering that. Pedicures for all. I am in favor of that. I am for everybody. Let's do that. So yeah, I mean, it's a thing. And I mean it even if okay, I'm just going ahead and say it. Hey, Funklore. Like if you touch my feet, it's a good chance you're going to get it. Okay, you know, I'm going to just say that. Okay. Even if that ain't your thing, and I respect it, it's not everybody's thing. Just visually, can they just look nice? That's all that I'm saying. And even if you're like, okay, that is not my thing, don't touch my feet, you know, whatever, because I know some people are like that. I'm fine with that. But I do want to pull the covers back and see your feet looking nice. That's just my thing. That's my jam. So yeah. Natty see your toes throwing gang signs. Woo, no, we don't want that. Hey, Motor Gemini. How you doing? I digress. But anyway, I will be back next Thursday, y'all. And I will be talking about some frozen drinks and some cocktails, which shout out to London Michelle, who gave me this idea for this. So Locke and I were talking before the show. I am not going to bring the blender down here. So I hope y'all all know how to use a blender, because I'm going to come early and do some prep on my frozen drinks. So I have all of that ready, but I will give you all the recipe and the ingredients and all that good stuff of how to do it. And I'm going to have some poptails, which are basically popsicles made with liquor. I will probably do some pre-made ones that I make at home, because I have a couple of ideas that I want to try. So y'all might get the, I don't like it face. We'll see. And then some that are like tried and true that I've purchased before. So we should have some fun, because I figure it's summertime. Let's do it. Let's make some drinks. So we are going to get out of here. And I am looking at the list. And let's go to our Van Stale, because he's on. And I think we can raid into him. So I'm looking at the whole list, though, just to make sure I'm making an informed decision. Let's go to Van Stale. So we're going to get out of here, y'all. Again, thank you, everybody. I appreciate you so much. Happy 3 years to you all. Thank you for contributing to my mental health, which is something that I told Locke when I came in today. Every Thursday that I get the opportunity to come here, it's just a wonderful break for me. It's something I get a chance to do that's solely for me, that is not about someone else. As a double caregiver, sometimes that's challenging. So thank you all for spending time with me and being here, and, you know, for the shenanigans and teaching me about tongue piercings and Listerine and pedicures and all of that stuff and, and everything. And Lego's been around, y'all. They've been around. So I will see y'all next Thursday. Have a great week, great weekend, and drink some 7 and 7. Cheers, y'all. Let's get out of here. Lord London, did you say that's how you spell his name? Yeah, that's it. That's how you spell it. Bye, y'all. See you next Thursday.
My favorite bourbon. Take a sip of you, baby. I'm swerving from left to right, left to right. You remind me of my favorite bourbon. Take 2 more shots, you know I'm swerving from left to right. All night. Would you call me old fashioned if I kiss you in the rain in Manhattan? Oh, I can't wait until my lips are on yours.